Hey guys, I'm on for Portugal's Spot and welcome to week 27 of the Premier League review. If you want to know this series, what we do is take a look at the past set Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Saturday the 10th, Sunday the 11th, and Monday the 12th of February 2018. Also next to the games are the times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with Manchester City versus Leicester. It didn't take long for this one to get going, as only 3 minutes into the match, Man City took the lead through Raheem Sterling. Bernardo Silva laid it off to Kevin De Bruyne and the Belgian put it into the box first time behind the Leicester defence, and there at the back post running on was Sterling, who tapped home for his 15th league goal of the season. But Leicester levelled the game up 20 minutes later through Jamie Vardy. Came from absolutely nowhere, as Leicester offered pretty much nothing in terms of going forward, but the one time they do attack, they find the net as Jamie Vardy worked himself into some space, avoiding 2 tackles from Man City defenders, made his way to the edge of the area before shooting from the edge of the box, and a tiny deflection takes it out of the reach of Edison and into the back of the net. But Man City retook the lead 5 minutes in the second half when Kevin De Bruyne got the assist again as the Belgian slid the ball through to Sergio Aguero, who then tapped it past Kasper Schmeichel. And Man City doubled their lead 5 minutes later when Sergio Aguero got his second. Kyle Walker started the move off as he kept the ball alive on the right hand side, whipped across into the box that Schmeichel can only half clear, and it comes to Kevin De Bruyne, and yet again he put Sergio Aguero through on goal, who made no mistake as the Argentine smashed it home through Schmeichel. And Man City put the game to bed in the 78th minute when Sergio Aguero made it 4-1 as he completed his hat-trick. Just awful goalkeeping from Schmeichel as he attempted to pass the ball out from goal. It was just awful. Aguero nipped in, stole it and chipped the ball over and into the back of the net. And Man City put one final nail in the coffin as they made it 5-1 in the 90th minute when Sergio Aguero is 4th of the game, and it's the pick of the bunch as well, as the ball is given to the striker on the edge of the box and he absolutely thumps an effort past Kasper Schmeichel, brilliant, and he absolutely thumps an effort past Kasper Schmeichel and into the net via the underside of the bar. And that's how the game ended, a pretty straightforward win. Man City dominated pretty much all of the game, with them shutting out Leicester for the entire match. One moment where Leicester broke free, and that's when they scored. Riyad Mahrez made his return to the Leicester squad as he come off the bench and received a round of applause from both sets of fans, which amused me, but Man City picked up all 3 points, and deservedly so. And we went to Huddersfield versus Bournemouth. Huddersfield took the lead in the 8th minute with their first real attack as the ball is flicked on over the top of the Bournemouth defence. The attackers beat the offside trap as Steve Mooney got some space on the left hand side and danced his way into the Bournemouth box. He looked up, spotted Alex Pritchard. The ball is slightly behind him, but he did well to get his leg back and smash the ball into the net for his first goal for the club. But Bournemouth levelled the game up 5 minutes later as Junior Stanislas made it 1-1. Pretty easy goal for Bournemouth to get as the ball was poked down the line to Ryan Fraser. He then does his best Kevin De Bruyne impression as without even looking up, he bent the first cross straight into the path of Stanislas, who calmly slotted it back across goal and into the bottom corner. But Huddersfield retook the lead in the 27th minute as Steve Mooney got the goal. It came for a free kick that Aaron Moy put into the box, and out of the 4 Huddersfield men attacking it, it's Steve Mooney who got on the end of it and flicked his header into the net for his first league goal since December. And Huddersfield doubled their lead in the 66th minute when Steve Mooney got his second and Huddersfield third. Absolutely shocking defending from Bournemouth as they give possession away on the edge of their own box, and the ball was given to Aaron Moy. He rolled it into the path of Mooney, who took the ball home from the edge of the area. And Huddersfield got the perfect chance to put one final nail in the coffin in the 95th minute when they were given a penalty. Brilliant run from Alex Pritchard as he made his way into the area and was tripped up, and you'd expect him to let Steve Mooney take it to get his hat-trick, but that wasn't the case at all as Rajiv Van Napala stepped up to take it and he sent the keeper the wrong way and slotted it into the bottom corner. And that was the game ended, quite comfortable in the end for Huddersfield as they were the better side in the second half, with them completely shutting Bournemouth out and not letting them get a single shot on target in the second half. A great win for Huddersfield as they jumped out with the bottom 3 with teams still to play, as they picked up their first win in 2018 and handed Bournemouth their first defeat in 8 league games. And we went to Everton versus Crystal Palace. Pretty lacklustre first half. Everton were edging it but were unable to create anything major in the final third, but finally one of these teams showed some class as a minute into the second half Everton took the lead through Gylfi Sigurdsson. Route 1 stuff as a Jordan Pickford sent the ball upfield. Umar Niasse knocked it down to Sigurdsson, who struck a shot from 25 yards out and it flew in thanks to a little deflection. And Everton doubled their lead 5 minutes later through Umar Niasse. Cuco Martina got the assist as he dinked the ball into the box, and Niasse didn't have to move as it was straight to him and he planted his header into the bottom corner. And Everton put the game to bed in the 76th minute when Tom Davies got his first league goal of the season. Everton had a few chances that were dealt with, but the ball fell loose on the byline on the left hand side and Sigurdsson dinked it back into the middle and it came to Davies, who finished from 6 yards out. But Crystal Palace got the perfect chance to get a consolation goal in the 83rd minute where they were given a penalty. Came as Christian Benteke was gone for a sort of bicycle kick and it struck the hand of Ashley Williams and the ref pointed to the spot. Luka Milivojevic stepped up to take it, and despite Jordan Pickford going the right way, he can't keep it out as he sent the penalty home. And as the game ended, Everton completely deserved the win, as although they weren't at their best in the first half, they were the better side, and in the second half they were the better side as well. Palace never really challenged, even though they did have a decent shout for a penalty turned away in the first half, but if they carried on to play like the way they did, I doubt that penalty would have done much anyway. anyway. Like I said, Palace never really looked up for it as Everton picked up the 3 points. And we went to Chelsea versus West Brom. Chelsea took the lead in the 25th minute when Eden Hazard got his 10th league goal of the season. It came as a chance recycled for the Blues as Hazard turned his man, looks up, sees Olivier Giroud, plays a lovely 1-2 with his striker to leave Hazard free in the box, and he buried it into the bottom corner. And Chelsea doubled their lead in the 63rd minute through Victor Moses. A lot of luck in this one as Moses started the move by playing it to Fabregas, and Fabregas tried to flick it onto Morata, but it takes a massive deflection and goes into the path of Moses, who kept his cool and slotted it past Ben Foster. And Chelsea wrapped the game up 5 minutes later when Eden Hazard got his second and Chelsea's third. He was on the edge of the area with really nothing on, but he does well to shift the ball from one foot to the other to get past his man, and he buried his shot past Ben Foster from the edge of the box. And that's how the game ended, and the scoreline suggests a pretty comfortable game for them, but at times it was anything but. There was golden opportunity for Jay Rodriguez back when it was 0-0, and if he took it, we could have been talking about a completely different result, but in the end it wasn't to be, as 2 goals from Eden Hazard put Chelsea back on winning ways. And we move on to Southampton versus Liverpool. Liverpool took the lead in the 5th minute when Bobby Firmino got his 20th of the season. Came from a counter-attack as a ball was booted forward. It looked like it wasn't going to come to anything as it was headed straight for Wesley Hurt, but the ball somehow goes through him and into Salah. Salah held it up, laid it off to Firmino, who put it into the bottom corner. And Liverpool doubled their lead in the 40th minute, and it was the same 2 people linking up for the goal. This time it was the other way around as Joel Matip played it into Salah. Salah found Firmino and continued his run. Firmino then backheeled it first time into the path of Salah, who finished for his 22nd league goal of the season. And that was the game ended a pretty comfortable win in the end for the visitors as they shut Southampton out in the second half, with them barely getting inside of the Liverpool box. The first half was quite a different story though, because as soon as Liverpool took the lead, Southampton were the better side and looked like they were going to find the equaliser, but a moment of magic from Firmino pretty much dashed any hopes that Southampton had to get back into it. Southampton, although did play well in the first half, they never really looked at their best. Liverpool never really had to get out of second gear in the second half, as they were just passing it around them, and I think Southampton were pretty much defeated when that second goal went in. Like, they had no desire to go out and get anything from this game in the second half, and because of that, Liverpool came away from their scouting grounds pretty much with the 3 points. And we went to West Ham versus Watford. West Ham took the lead in the 37th minute through Javier Hernandez. Simple goal really, and quite poor defending from Watford as Marco Arnautovic put a ball into the box, and they're completely unmarked with Hernandez, and the Mexican had all the time in the world to head home. And West Ham doubled their lead in the 77th minute when Marco Arnautovic got a goal. He deserved this one as he put in a great shift on his return to the squad, and it's one of the easiest goals he's going to get. As the cross was put in, the Watford keeper can only parry it back to the crosser, and it ricochets around and falls to Arnautovic, and he turned home from point blank range. And that's how the game ended. West Ham give Watford their first loss under Javi Gracia in a very entertaining match. Watford had 2 decent chances through Mariappa and Deulofeu, but Adrian was able to deal with them as Watford fell to their first defeat in 3 games, and West Ham picked up a pretty comfortable 3 points. And we went to Stoke versus Brighton. No real chances for either side for the opening of the match, but we finally had a decent attack, and it led to the first goal as Brighton took the lead when Jose Izquierdo got his 2nd goal in as many games. A great team goal as well from Brighton as Izquierdo started on the left, played a 1-2 with 2 separate teammates, and then finished it nicely with a right-footed strike. But Stoke leveled the game up in the 68th minute when Xherdan Shaqiri got the goal. Brighton keeper Matty Ryan was barely challenged all game, but with one of their first dangerous attacks, Stoke make it count as Shaqiri got the ball on the edge of the box and curled it low into the bottom corner beyond Matty Ryan. And Stoke got the perfect chance to win the game in the 90th minute when they were given a penalty. Dale Stephens was at fault as he brought Jesse Rodriguez to the floor and the ref pointed to the spot. Charlie Adams stepped up to take it, despite Jesse Rodriguez basically shouting, "Hey, that's mine," but Adam and the rest of his teammates, to be fair, were like, "No, Charlie Adams taking it." But maybe he shouldn't have, because Charlie Adams stepped up to take it, but Matt Ryan did well to save, and then Lewis Dunk did well to get the ball behind for a corner, and then from that corner, Anthony Knockout made a goal line clearance to deny Stoke the win. And that's how the game ended, and what an ending it was. I really don't know how Brighton survived any of those at the end. Matt Ryan made a great save of the penalty. Lewis Dunk seemingly came out of nowhere to make the challenge. It was basically Charlie Adam, open goal, in comes Dunk. It was mental. And then the goal line clearance, luck be a lady for Brighton. A point apiece was probably the right result, but it will be Brighton who will be happier of the 2 teams. And we move on to the North London derby, Tottenham versus Arsenal. Pretty even first half, if not boring, one of the 2. Tottenham looked like the team that wanted to go for it more, and Arsenal at times seemed happy to hold on to the 0-0. But Tottenham took the lead 5 minutes in the second half through Harry Kane. Ben Davies put a great cross into the box, and they're jumping higher than anyone else to head down, and in the bottom corner was Harry Kane. And that's how the game ended. Arsenal looked properly crap in this game. Like, the amount of times they give the ball away was ridiculous. Mustafi had a bad game, Xhaka had a bad game, Lacazette missed 2 golden chances in the dying moments of the match after coming off of the bench. Aubameyang was never really threatening, Bellerin was crap, Petr Cech is just done. Remember the Swansea game where he just passed it to Ayew and he finished? He almost did the exact same thing with Dele Alli. Tottenham picked up the 3 points, and although it was only 1-0, they could have easily had 2 or 3. Also, if you're one of those people who are tweeting something like, it's 2-1 on aggregate, Tottenham fans, calm yourself, shut up. That's embarrassing. And we went to Newcastle versus Manchester United. This one was pretty dire. Both teams cancelled each other out, and neither of them were able to create hardly any clear chances. But one of these teams took the lead eventually in the 65th minute, and to everyone's surprise, it was Newcastle who got it. It came from a free kick that was given to Newcastle after Chris Smalling dived for some reason. The ball was lofted into the area, Lejeune headed it down, Dwight Gale backheels it into the run of Matt Ritchie, and there was not one Manchester United defender near him as he kept his cool and smashed the ball in low. And as the game ended, a huge result at both ends of the table really. I know Man United are nowhere near Man City, but let's be honest, the other 3 places in the top 4 are all to play for. Newcastle with a huge win at the bottom as well as they jumped out of the bottom 3 and into 13th. Yes, that's how tight it is down there. Chris Smalling was shocking in this game yet again, and his dive cost Man United the game as Newcastle picked up possibly the biggest 3 points of their season so far. And finally, we've got Swansea versus Burnley. It wasn't the best game as there wasn't a single shot on target in the entire first half, so we didn't really have any hope for the second, did we? But we did get a goal in the 82nd minute when Swansea grabbed a huge goal through Ki Sun-young. Carl Norton started it off as he laid it off to Ki on the edge of the box, and the South Korean placed his shot low into the bottom corner. And as the game ended, Swansea are on the run of their life right now, and Carlos Carvajal has come to Wales and has properly given some belief to this Swansea side. It's their 4th league win since he took over in December, but for Burnley, it's very much the opposite. After starting the season so well, they are now without a win in their last 10 league games. So that's those games we've got for this time. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers. Starting off with the Premier League table. Start with top 5, and as you can see, Manchester City extended their lead to 16 after their big win over Leicester. Man United second after their shocker loss to Newcastle. Liverpool third after their win at Southampton. Chelsea fourth after getting back to winning ways over West Brom, and Tottenham make up the top 5 following their win in the North London derby. Moving on to the bottom 5, and West Brom are bottom and 5 points adrift after their loss to Chelsea. Stoke in 19th following their draw with Brighton. Southampton make up the bottom 3 after losing to Liverpool. Huddersfield jumped out of the bottom 3 following their big win over Bournemouth, and Swansea make up the bottom 5 after their great form continued after beating Burnley. Moving on to the top goal scorers, as you can see, Harry Kane is still in the top. He bagged the only goal in the North London derby that took him to 23 goals and 1 assist. Mo Salah bagged a goal and an assist against Southampton that took him to 22 goals and 7 assists. Sergio Aguero bagged 4 against Leicester that shot him up to 21 goals and 5 assists. Raheem Sterling got Manchester City's other goal in the Leicester game that took him to 15 goals and 6 assists. And Jimmy Vardy makes up the top 5 after his goal for Leicester against Man City took him to 13 goals and 1 assist. Right, so that's all I've got for you this time. If you did, drop a shot, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll be back in 2 weeks on the 27th for the next episode of the Premier League review. Yep, no episode next week because it's the FA Cup 5th round, so no Premier League games, so I'll be back in 2 weeks. If you want to follow my personal Twitter, the link is in the description. If you want to follow us on Twitter to stay up to date about when we go live or upload a video, the link to that is in the description as well, or it's at portionofsport_. If you missed the last episode, that'll be popping on your screen about now, along with a link to the channel so you can subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I will see you soon.